Hi, and welcome to another episode of Rapid Fire Review, an airsoft gun review show brought to you by the people at pyramydair.com. I'm your host, Barry Goodband.
And I'm Storn Cook, and today we're looking at the Aftermath CZ75D.
All right, so when the package arrives at your house, you're going to find the gun itself, a 14-round single-stack magazine that also serves as the home for your CO2 powerlet.
You're going to get a Allen wrench that will adjust the rear sight as well as the hop-up. We'll show you a little bit more about that later. You're going to get a 30-day manufacturer's warranty card and a manual. That's pretty explanatory.
All right, let's take it over and shoot it and see how she performs.
I'm looking forward to it. Okay, now we're going to take the CZ75D and see how it chronos and how it's going to do downrange.
All right, before we do that, though, I'm just going to take you guys through the loading procedures. It's real simple and probably familiar to you if you've dealt with CO2 guns in the past. The CO2 pellet gets put right here into the magazine. You want to put it in tip first. And as you do that, you want to remember to treat the tip of your CO2 with just a tiny little bit of Pelgan oil. And that's going to allow your O-rings to stay nice and moist. They're not going to dry out and crack on you and maybe have a malfunction. Then you're just going to give it a couple of twists to seat it, draw down your follower that will lock into position here, and you can feed BBs through the top, and you're ready to rock and roll. There you go, Storn. .364, 380, 357, 344, 344. All right, that's pretty peppy for a sidearm. That's impressive. Plus, we've got a brand new fresh CO2 in there, so you might see that number come down a little bit as the CO2 starts to cool off. But yeah, that's good and peppy for a sidearm.
Well, let's see how it does run downrange. Right. You're doing the honors there.
All righty. All right, so I'm high left there. But, we just got this gun out of the box. Haven't had it, time to work with the sights. It does have an adjustable rear sight aperture there. So, you give me 10 minutes, and that's got a good, tight pattern there. I think
that's a pretty tight group for 30 feet with a pistol.
Absolutely. That's going to be a good serviceable sidearm there. And once you get things dialed in, I'm sure this is going to be right on the money.
After all, that target is smaller than a human torso. So
yeah, absolutely. Yep.
Well, let's take it over to the desk and give our final thoughts on it.
Let's go.
So Barry, your thoughts on the Aftermath CZ75D?
Well, overall, I thought the gun was a very, very good basic package, reliable, accurate once you get those sights adjusted like we talked about. And as I said, reliability of that CO2 platform there, the CO2 power source, is definitely going to be very reliable in, say, a cold, wet environment, things of that nature. It's going to continue to supply you power. And that's really what you want from your sidearm. When it's time to go to your sidearm, most likely you're in an emergency situation of some kind, and you're going to want that CO2 reliability. Also, it's a bit more economical as well. This gun gives you a lot of shots out of a CO2 pellet. It's very, very cool. And as I mentioned, it has an adjustable rear sight aperture that you can use that Allen wrench on. And the gun also allows you to adjust the hop up without taking off the slide. You just pull your slide back and you can insert your wrench right here, adjust your hop up without having to take things apart. That's a cool feature. What did you think?
I liked it. It's just a nice, compact, fun gun to shoot. I enjoyed it. I happen to really like the ribbing here on the front trigger guard. That feels very comfortable for me in a two-handed grip. I like that when pistols include that. Some don't. It has a nice rail here for a flashlight, for a laser pointer. That's pretty neat. Has white dots for sights. Makes for quick target acquisition. Just easy to read. Overall, it's a nice package. It also has a lanyard ring. Now, we have a couple of friends who've lost some pistols in the woods.
Myself.
This is nice to have attached to your belt. It might not look the coolest, but hey, you're going to save yourself some money by keeping your gun close.
Well, you'll also still have your sidearm with you when it's time to pull it as well.
Yeah, no point. No kidding. And it shot a decent FPS. I was really impressed with what we were getting.
Oh, yeah, definitely. A very, very good FPS there. And once again, that's a credit to the CO2 power plant.
Yep. Yeah, I was pretty happy with it.
All right, so that's all the time we've got for this piece. But you guys keep your eyes open because we'll be back in the near future with another cool gun from pyramydair.com. But until then, I'm your host, Barry Goodband.
And I'm Storn Cook. And if you want to reach us, you can do so at Rapid Fire Review at pyramydair.com or Pyramyd Air's Facebook page.
And I have to remind you guys before we head out, always remember, airsoft guns are realistic copies of actual firearms. So always play safely, act responsibly, and we'll see you guys out there in the field.
Do not remove the federally required orange marking from your gun. Treat airsoft guns the same as firearms. Assume a gun is loaded, even if you know it's unloaded. Never shoot at someone who isn't wearing proper eye protection. Never brandish your gun in public, and always transport it in a case. Do not point an airsoft gun at anyone as a joke. Keep your finger off the trigger until you're ready to shoot. Do not use airsoft guns to shoot at, discipline, or injure animals. Know the laws regarding airsoft guns and their use.